Hi everyone, it's Caroline here from Aussie Cards and Crafts, and finally I've actually got back to doing another tutorial for you. I do apologise, my new job has kind of taken over my life recently. Not that I'm complaining, because it's a great job, but it does keep me away from the craft, and I really and truly, I haven't even made a card for around about 3 months. But my granddaughter's first birthday is coming up, so I wanted to make something special for her. So I thought I might share it with you. The idea comes from Sam Calcott from Mixed Up Craft. I have seen other people do it, but I really do like the way she has done it. And it's called the Exploding Birthday Card. And it really is quite spectacular. I've got one that a mock-up here that I did, so this isn't finished by any stretch, but this is basically how it goes. So it comes to you like that, you bring it back, and as you open it up, it actually explodes. So, and it will have some steps in here, which will be very, very easy to do. I can show you how to do those. And we're going to decorate it with balloons. So balloons are going to be my theme. She's turning 1 in August, and I thought I would get this one done and just record it for you just because I can. Okay, let's get started. There's quite a bit of cutting to do to start with. Now, I have done all of mine, and I'll just grab my board so I can go through the sizes. Now, the sizes will be recorded below on the YouTube videos. So let me go through these first. Your first base piece is going to be 6 inches by, let me just get that up there, by 12 inches. And along, let's turn that over. So along the 12-inch side, what I'd like you to do is I would like you to score at 5 inches, 5 1/8. Then come along here and score at 10 1/8, 10 1/4, and 10 3/8. Okay, so the reason we do it that way is it's got a bit of bulk in it, this card, so you will need to have that space to actually to allow that bulk to be there. The next piece is the piece that is going to go in here, which is this piece here. And this piece is going to be 10 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch. Okay, and along the 10-inch line, or 10-inch side, you need to score at 5 inches. Okay, so that's directly in half. We also need 3 little boxes to put our decorations on inside. So to do that, the first piece is going to be 3 inches by 3 inches. And on one of those 3-inch sides, you need to score at 1/4 inch, 1 1/2, and 2 3/4 inches. Okay, I've already got the tape on, but don't worry about that. The second piece is going to be, let me have a look, 2 1/2 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And along the 2 3/4 inches, you need to score at the 1/4 inch, 1 1/4, and 2 1/2. And when you score that, you will see that you've got 2 little sides of your box, and one of them is going to be bigger than the other. Okay, so the small one is going to be the top one, and that's going to be facing you. The last one, once again, is going to be, the smaller size is 2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and you're going to score at 1/4 inch, 1 inch, and 2 1/4 inches. And once you've done that and fold and burnish those, it's a good idea just to put red tape on all of the tabs there. Okay, now for the fun part. What we've got to do is we've got to make one of these, because if you look at this is the exploding part, and this is just origami. The paper that I'm using is a little bit thick, but when I went down to my paper store today, This was all they had in like children's things that would have been suitable for a 1-year-old. So I've had to go for a little bit thicker, but if you can get your paper to be, and it doesn't have to be double-sided, if you can get your paper around about the 150 GSM or less, that would actually work really, really well with this card. Now, I've done one side of it, but I need to show you how to do the other side. So this piece of paper is going to be 10 inches by 6 inches. Okay, now we want the exploding part, or I want the exploding part to be the balloon, because this one is actually going to sit this side of the card once it's folded. So I want the balloons there, not in the middle. So to do that, I need to make sure that I fold it this way, and that what I did is I did a bit of a cheat sheet here, and you'll see that that represents my balloons, my squiggly lines there. So when I do this initially, I know that I'm doing it the correct way. So fold your 10-inch piece in half at 5 inches, and just so your opening is that side. Next, what you need to do, and I'll get rid of the board, and what you need to do is you need to bring this side, let me just double check I'm right, yes, this side up there, making sure that this point down here is correct and that you're nice and straight up there. Okay, so once you've done that, just do it with your fingers at first, but it is absolutely imperative that you then burnish that really, really well. Next thing you do is you open that out again, and what you've got to do is you've actually got to fold it in on itself. So you're going to bring this one that is a valley fold at the moment up to a mountain fold and fold it like so, and you'll find that it will fold in on itself. Okay, so we were like that. We've opened it up and we've made this valley fold into a mountain fold, and I've just creased it there a little bit. Then we bring this one basically down and this one up, so it folds in on itself, and that's what you end up with. Okay, once again, burnish really, really well. So I'm just making sure that I'm doing everything correctly here, so bear with me. Okay, so now we've got that. What we need to do is we need to turn it over so it's sitting this way. So you've got that flat piece up the top there, and what we now need to do is grab a pencil, and you need to fold in roughly at, or not roughly, at 2 inches. So what I tend to do, because I have centimetres on here, not inches, because I'm in Australia, I make a mark there at 2 inches. I make another mark here at 2 inches, and bearing in mind that my card is very, very, very thick. Okay, and what we now need to do is we now need to bring these two ears here over and fold down that line. And I find the best way of doing that, and I guess you could actually use your scoring tool and do it as well to help, but generally speaking, I just use this. I bring one up and then I bring the other one up. That gives me enough to work with, making sure that these are even down here. And as I say, if it's a little bit out, don't worry. And as you can see, this is very thick card to be working with. Very, very, very important that you burnish well on all of these. Next, we need, from that fold that you've just made, you need to measure in 1 inch. Okay, and then 1 inch a bit further up, and along those lines again, you are going to fold the flaps over or the ears over. Okay, I tend to do it one at a time because they are really, really thick, like so. Once you've got the fold in them, work more on making sure that your edge down here is straight, and then burnish. And as you can see, I'm struggling because it is a very thick card. Next, you don't need to measure this one. You can just fold this one back on itself so that it's measuring just along that line there. Once again, burnish really well, and then again on this side, just bring that across as well. If it doesn't all measure up 100%, don't panic, okay? Really and truly do not panic, because if you have a look at this one when we fold it in, and I'll show you how to fold it in a moment, you know, we've got bits that are hanging out there, and really and truly you are not going to see that. So don't panic too much. So once you've done that, what I would suggest you do is then you fold it back on itself and go the opposite way, because it just does help those folds. Okay, and especially with the thickness of paper, I reckon this is about 210, this paper. It might even be a little bit heavier, and it's way too heavy to do what I'm doing, but beggars couldn't be choosers, unfortunately. So once you've folded it back on yourself, you open it all out, and you will see here that we have got a center fold down here. Okay, so that is a mountain fold. The next one is going to be, and you'll see that they come in right angles. Okay, so this mountain fold, then the next one is going to be a valley fold. The next one is going to be a mountain fold as well, and you can see that it is starting already to fold in on itself. This side, you do exactly the same thing. Okay, I usually find that it's easier to do one side first. And that is going to be a valley just there, and then a mountain just there. Then on the other side, you do exactly the same thing. So this is all going to be valley folds. Okay, so they're going to go in like so, and this one is going to come out and be another mountain fold. So fold that once again, like so, and then the last one is going to be another valley, and then another mountain. And there you have, once you've done it, once again, make sure you use, this is your best, absolute best friend. So there we have it, and there we have our two pieces that are going to go on the side of our card. Okay, so they really aren't that difficult to do. It's a little bit fiddly, but they really aren't that difficult. Now let's go back to our main piece. So the piece where we had lots of little score lines. So you've got, this is the one that's 12 inches by 6 inches, and you've got your score lines. You've got 2 score lines there, and you've got 3 score lines there. So fold and burnish your score lines. Okay, so I'll do that one first. The next one where you've got 3, it really, you don't necessarily need to fold all of those over. Okay, so long as it's an arch, because that's where your bulk is going to be. So that is going to be your base card. So it's going to open, you're going to have your explosion parts there, and then you're going to have this piece just here, and if we fold that in half, this is going to sit on top of these pieces. So these are going to sit in here like so, and like so, and then along the centerpiece in here, this is where this is going to sit just there. Okay, but what we've got to do is we now need to put our boxes on there first, and it's just about impossible to do this if you don't do these boxes first. So you've got your boxes and you've scored them at the correct time. Now, at the correct places. Now, the top part is always going to be, except for on the first one where they're both even, the top part is always going to be the smaller piece. Okay, so this one is going to sit on top of that one. Okay, and that's the smaller piece, so it's going to sit on top. Let's get started with our first one. Now, it's very easy to do this. If you just take off one side of your double-sided tape, okay, fold that over, and what you need to do is you need to, now you can see that I haven't stuck that yet, that's still loose. This one I haven't taken the top off of. So make sure that it is as even as you possibly can, and that center score line is actually on that other center score line. Once that has happened, hold it in place and just fold that over. That now is stuck. All you now need to do is to take the top off of the red tape there, and I do suggest you use red tape for this. I think it's much stronger. And there we go. And then when you open it up, you can see you've got your first little stand. So the next one, which is the next size, what you need to do is you need to basically put it up around about 1/4 of an inch from that score line, okay, from the score line on the top. Sorry, the score line on that one you've just put down. So bring it up 1/4 of an inch and make sure your sides are level. And what you do is you do it the opposite way this time. Oops, don't forget the top, that's got to be at the top. So this is our top of our card. So what I need to do is I need to take the top one off first. Fold it back so that it's not going to stick. Position it with this. Okay, so it's about 1/4 of an inch from that score line, 1/4 of an inch from that side, and 1/4 of an inch from that side. Fold it over at the top. And then take this one off and fold it over again. Okay. And the third one, we do exactly the same. So we take that one off first, the top, which is the part where you've got this small part, and fold this under, place it about 1/4 of an inch above that last score line and 1/4 of an inch from the sides. Once you've got it where you want it, you can then fold that under, stick it down to the top part of the card, bring this up, take the tape off, or take the top of the tape off, should I say, and then fold that down. And now what we have when we close it, now that's got that correct. And as you can see, you've got your 4 little, they look like almost cake tiers. What we do now is we get this. Now we've got our 2 pieces. These are our exploding pieces, and these are going to sit right in the center of those. You've got 2 score lines there. It's going to sit right in the center, and this is going to go right to the edge. Okay, so what we need to do is we now need to glue that in place. So it's adjacent to this, or it's in line with that, and it's in between those 2. And then you bring that over. Okay, and then you'll see that that all fits in there. The next piece we need to do is exactly the same on the other side. Right, so once again, making sure that that is in between those first 2 score lines and right on the side over here. And we're going to glue that top piece down. Okay, making sure it's in place. close it down, and there we go. And we'll just hold that in place for a moment. Now what we do is turn it upside down, and we can do these ones together. So we can glue both pieces and then close it down again. Once again, close it down, hold it, just to let the glue just grab, and there we have it. So as we open it up, you will see that we now have our explosion. Next part that we've got to put in is this part here, and this part is going to go, if you actually have a look, it is the right size to fit into the corner of that explosion and to the corner of that explosion. Okay, so, and then it will come down to this very first score line here and be up the top just here where my finger is. So what we now need to do is we now need to take this, and once again I only do one side at a time. I just find it's just a little bit easier that way. Glue one side down, and in this case I think I'm gluing the top down. And the reason I use glue rather than tape for this is that it's got a little bit of wiggle room, so it really is important to have that wiggle room on this card. So we put that right in there. Okay, so it's going to be where the explosions actually meet. Okay, so the creases for the explosions meet, and you will see that it will come up. If it goes a little bit past that, don't worry, we can always trim that off. I'm not concerned about that at all. And then once that's done, we then need to do the bottom part. Once again, holding it. Okay, so that is going to be just in there, and you will be able to see now that when you open this up, it explodes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, you're probably thinking, how on earth are you going to actually keep that together? What I'm going to use is I'm going to use magnets to do that. So I will now put my magnets, now let me find them first, there they are. I know I've got them because I had to go out and buy them specially. So I'm going to use one magnet there, and I'm going to use glue dots for this. I just find with working with these, they do work a lot better. So I'm just going to put a glue dot on one of the magnets, and I'm going to pop that one just there. The second magnet, I'm going to put that one just there. And then what the sizes I didn't go through were the mats and layers. So what you will now need is you'll need 2 pieces of, I've used the cut-offs from this card here, but what you will need you will need 2 pieces. Now you will need 2 which are 5 3/4 in lengths and 1 3/4 there. Okay, now I'm going to glue that down just there, giving it a nice border, bearing in mind that there is our final score line. Okay, and I'm going to put it over the magnets. So I'll glue that one down first. Okay, now if we close that down, we now need to get another 2 magnets and put them on here. So they will find the other magnet when you can get them apart. Okay, glue dots once again. And now we're going to close it down, and we are going to make sure that those glue dots stick to this piece of card. Okay, so there is where our magnets need to be. The final, or one of the final pieces, is a piece. Once again, I have used the side of this particular balloon paper is called Birthday Bash. I got it from Paper Flourish, and it's made in America by Reminiscence Incorporated. So what I now need to do is to glue that piece down there, and I'm going to do some more decorating on there. I'm going to put the happy birthday, and I'm going to put some more balloons and things like that from there, as I am on the inside as well. But I'm going to do that off air and show you afterwards, because that's going to take quite some time. So I'll glue this down, and then you will see that when you close that, it stays closed. The other thing that I want to do is I now want to put my second strip, which is exactly the same size as the first one, which is 5 3/4 by 1 3/8. I want to glue that on the top there. But you can see with magnets, it really does hold beautifully. And there we go, just there. And without decoration, and I will come back and show you the decoration afterwards, but you just lift that up and there is your card. Now what I am doing is I've got my granddaughter's name cut out. I've got all kinds of things, balloons, and I'm going to decorate all of this with her name and balloons, and I'm going to put a greeting there, as well as balloons on there, and also I'm going to have her name on this part as well. So not that she can read at the moment, she's only not quite 1 year old, but yeah, I think it will be a nice keepsake for her for when she gets older. You can see there's a lot of dimension in there, but it does hold beautifully, and it can be posted through the post. So okay, I'm going to switch off now, and I will come back and I will show you the finished card once it's done. Okay everyone, so I'm back again with the finished product. Now when I left you yesterday, I had the bases of it done. I had basically, it was like that, with no decoration whatsoever. It did have the steppers in there, but it didn't have any decoration in it. So I got up this morning, and the reason that I didn't decorate this in front of you was because I did want to spend a bit of extra time doing it, and obviously cutting out all of these balloons did take quite a bit of time as well. So as you can see, this is a birthday card for my beautiful granddaughter Evie. I'll just use a glue rubber on that just to get that off. She is going to be 1 very soon, and the whole of the family are going over to see it. So I wanted to make the explosion card, and this is how I've decorated it. I have used heat embossing on the happy birthday. I've cut out the balloons, and then inside, when it explodes, you can see I've actually spent quite a lot of time with these balloons and making sure that they are in the right position. So I'll just kind of put it that way so that you can see it. It's got the balloons on the side with the paper that I used, and then I have used it. You could make this as a cake, you could make it as a planter, you could do it as whatever you wanted. I chose to make the theme balloon because she's only 1 year of age, and I'm just hoping that my daughter does keep it and actually shows it to her when she's a little bit older. I did heat emboss Sending You Love wrapped in sunshine, tied with a rainbow just there, and then I've put balloons all the way around and all the way around there. I've left her name obviously just there clear, but I'm really happy with it, and I hope that she will be as well when she gets a little bit older. She won't probably be too enthralled with it when I see her next time. I'm going to put a sentiment on the back. I'm going to put a piece of white card, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment on that and then write my message there. but I'm really pleased with it. And if you've enjoyed watching it, please give me a thumbs up and a like, because I do have another one that I'm probably not going to be able to get it done today, but I've worked out how I can make a double explosion card. So stay tuned for that, because I haven't seen one before, but as I was putting this together, it kind of came to me. So I'm going to try it and do a few more trials on it, but I think a double explosion card is going to look even more spectacular than this, depending on the papers that you use, obviously. So thanks for listening. Please go over to my Facebook page, give me a like, and maybe subscribe to my channel, because that really helps me. And then head over to my Facebook page, which is Aussie Cards and Crafts. And for products that you want to purchase, please go to my website, which is www.aussiecardsandcrafts.com.au. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it, and happy crafting.